The Alex Murdaugh case is one of the most shocking true crime stories in modern American history. What began as the mysterious murders of a prominent lawyer's wife and son soon uncovered years of deception, financial fraud, and abuse of trust. For generations, the Murdaugh family held enormous influence in South Carolina's legal system, making the investigation unlike any other. As detectives peeled back layer after layer of evidence, they discovered a web of lies that eventually led to one of the most closely watched murder trials in recent history. The case captivated millions because it wasn't simply about who committed the crime, but about how a respected attorney managed to hide his secrets for years before everything came crashing down. Today we will talk about Alex Murdaugh, the crime, the lies, and the trial that changed everything. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. A powerful family under the spotlight for nearly a century, the Murdaugh family was one of the most influential legal families in South Carolina's Lowcountry. 3 generations of Murdaugh men served as prosecutors, while the family law firm handled countless civil cases. Their reputation gave them significant influence throughout the region, and many people viewed the family as untouchable. Alex Murdaugh followed the same path, becoming a successful attorney with wealth, connections, and a respected public image. However, behind that image, prosecutors later argued that Alex was struggling with mounting financial problems and had been stealing millions of dollars from clients, colleagues, and settlement funds for years. The night everything changed, on the evening of June 7, 2021, Alex Murdaugh called 911 after discovering the bodies of his wife Maggie Murdaugh and their 22-year-old son, Paul Murdaugh, near the family's Moselle hunting estate. Maggie had been shot multiple times with a rifle, while Paul was killed with a shotgun. The brutal nature of the murders immediately shocked investigators. During the initial stages of the investigation, Alex appeared emotional and insisted he had found his family after returning home. At first, investigators explored multiple possibilities, but inconsistencies in Alex's statements soon attracted closer attention. The lies began to unravel. A major turning point came when investigators recovered a cell phone video recorded by Paul just minutes before the murders. The video captured voices in the background, including one prosecutor identified as Alex Murdaugh. For months, Alex had repeatedly claimed he had not been at the kennels where the murders occurred shortly before the shootings. During the trial, multiple witnesses familiar with his voice testified that he was clearly present in the recording. Faced with this evidence, Alex admitted that he had lied about his whereabouts, saying his addiction to opioid painkillers had made him paranoid and distrustful of investigators. Prosecutors argued that this lie showed a guilty conscience rather than confusion. The investigation builds momentum. As investigators examined Alex's finances, they uncovered an extensive pattern of fraud. Prosecutors alleged that he had stolen millions of dollars from clients, law partners, and vulnerable individuals over many years. They argued that the financial pressure was becoming impossible to hide, and that the murders temporarily shifted attention away from his crimes. Although the financial thefts were not the murder charges themselves, the prosecution used them to argue that Alex had repeatedly lied whenever it benefited him. The defense countered that financial misconduct did not prove murder and insisted the state lacked direct evidence placing a weapon in Alex's hands. The trial that captivated America. The trial began in early 2023 and quickly became one of the most watched criminal proceedings in the country. Prosecutors relied heavily on digital evidence, cell phone records, vehicle data, witness testimony, and the kennel video to reconstruct Alex's movements on the night of the murders. They argued that the timeline showed only minutes separated the recording at the kennels from the estimated time of death. The defense challenged the forensic evidence and maintained that investigators had focused on Alex too early, while overlooking other possibilities. Despite weeks of testimony, no murder weapons were ever recovered, making the circumstantial evidence especially important to the prosecution's case. The jury reaches a verdict. After hearing weeks of testimony and reviewing hundreds of pieces of evidence, the jury deliberated for less than 3 hours before finding Alex Murdaugh guilty of murdering Maggie and Paul. The speed of the verdict surprised many legal analysts considering the complexity of the case. During sentencing, The judge stated that the overwhelming evidence pointed to Alex's guilt and sentenced him to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Alex maintained his innocence and later pursued appeals. But the guilty verdict marked the dramatic downfall of a man once considered one of South Carolina's most powerful attorneys. The legacy of the case, the Murdaugh case, continues to influence discussions about justice, privilege, and accountability. It exposed how financial crimes can remain hidden for years when committed by trusted professionals and demonstrated how modern digital evidence, including cell phone videos and electronic records, can become crucial in solving serious crimes. The trial also reminded the public that even individuals with significant influence are ultimately subject to the legal system when sufficient evidence is presented. Years after the murders, the case remains one of the defining true crime stories of the decade, studied by legal experts, journalists, and investigators as an example of how deception can eventually collapse under careful investigation. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.